Hello everyone, I'm Jason and I'm here to critique and introduce Fargo created by Noah Hawley for you. Fargo, which first aired on the FX network on April 15, 2014, is based on a film of the same name by the Coen brothers. This series is a blend of crime, drama, and comedy. Intriguing, right? However, it's not as simple as it seems. Fargo depicts a series of chain murders over different years in various American cities. This series, drawing inspiration from historical realities and featuring captivating characters and unforeseen situations, presents a mixture of dark comedy, crime, and drama. Every season of Fargo has a unique story to tell. Now that we have a little background on the series, it's time for a spoiler-free introduction. If you've watched this series, feel free to skip this part of the video timeline. But before we dive into the series, I'd be thrilled to welcome you to our small family if you're interested in topics like movie and series reviews. Fargo, with its 4 completed seasons and a 5th confirmed, is an underrated series where each season tells a separate story unrelated to the others. Essentially, each season covers different murders that occurred in different years. For instance, the first season is set in 2006 in Minnesota and North Dakota. It revolves around the character Lester Nygaard, played by the always excellent Martin Freeman, a simple insurance salesman. Although he seems to be a good person, he suffers from low self-esteem. This weakness leads to other vulnerabilities, such as being clumsy and irresponsible to those around him, including his wife and brother, who belittle him and push him towards resentment. Eventually, when Lester gets beaten up by a high school classmate, his resentment peaks, and it's in the hospital that we get to meet our series wild card. But I'll let you watch the rest for yourselves. The series starts well with appropriate scene setting, offering a linear narrative with a direct path instead of mysterious and puzzling twists, placing the viewer on this path to directly engage with the core realities of the story. So if you're looking for a mysterious and enigmatic series, Fargo might not be the pick for you. Conversely, if you're interested in a story that's more narrated, from the perspective of the killer, where we see more of the killer's emotions and actions than a detective trying to solve the case, then this series is for you. The other seasons also feature different stories, each told in a distinct narrative style. When introducing the genre, we mentioned that this is a comedy series, which is because the director tries not to let the audience sink too deep into the film's cold and isolated atmosphere, preventing them from becoming weary of watching. Don't think that the series will have you rolling on the floor with laughter or that its comedic element might make you feel as if you're watching something ludicrous. On the contrary, throughout Fargo, a series of random and ludicrous events lead to numerous murders. The series can make you laugh without spoiling the mood it has created. Although Fargo's based on real and brutal murders, the writers have taken out the violence and added a bit of humor instead. So if you're looking for a horror movie about a serial killer, you're in the wrong place. I can confidently recommend Fargo to you, although it might not be to everyone's taste. Now that we've had a brief introduction to the series, it's time to discuss and critique it. If you haven't seen the series yet, be warned that this part of the video contains spoilers. It's difficult to broadly critique a show with 4 seasons, each with a different story and atmosphere because each has its unique details. But speaking generally, the series has been successful in portraying the atmosphere of the story. Although the series gives us a soulless and chilly vibe, we need to remember that it's about murder and not supposed to be a cheerful, friendly, and rosy world. Yeah, you know the movie I'm hinting at. Thus, the atmosphere of the series is excellently matched with its storytelling. The actors in the series are truly outstanding, perfectly fitting the characters they portray, and they are suitable for these roles. Throughout all seasons, especially the first, we witness some spectacular performances, and I can say that one of the best we see is Martin Freeman, playing Lester Nygaard brilliantly, conveying the full spectrum of his character's emotions to the audience. As I said, Fargo is a crime series, but persistently watching 4 seasons of crime can surely tire anyone out. For this reason, the series writers endeavored to maintain viewer interest by stripping away elements of fear and violence and infusing humor, an old trick to make stories and movies more engaging. However, the writers knew that if the comedy was overdone, it would derail the series from its main course and lead to its downfall. Also, if the comedy had been directly expressed by the characters, it would have lost its charm and wasted the actors' superb performances. Therefore, the writers aimed to add absurd incidents to the series instead of making the characters ridiculous. Throughout the series, it's the simplicity and randomness of these events that surprise and amuse us, especially in the first season, which is one of the film's positives. The writers managed to attract the audience in a way that didn't damage the series or destroy the atmosphere they tried to create. Another strength of the series is its background music. which is excellently and fittingly crafted in every season to complement the environment and era of the story, making us understand and feel as if we are living in that time. Another strong point is the character development, which is excellently done in the series. Particularly in the first and third seasons, the writers perform a terrific job of presenting us with deep and well-crafted character portrayals. Having touched upon the strengths, let's now turn to the series' weaknesses. One criticism directed at Fargo is the sense of formulaic content in some seasons. Many critics feel that the third and fourth seasons aren't as captivating as the first and second, relying on repetitive formulas and lacking innovation. Now that we've given an overview critique, let's delve into more detail and examine each season separately. In the first season, we encounter an excellent and thrilling crime story that constantly surprises and fills us with awe. The events within this season are so surreal and bizarre that they make us think back to the series' opening sentence, which claims it's based on real events, and we wonder if such things could indeed happen. Additionally, this season showcases one of the most remarkable performances a performer can offer, and it's this outstanding acting that greatly contributes to the enjoyment of the series. This season also has one of the best character developments seen throughout the series, aiding in the better narrative of the story. The only weakness I can pinpoint in this season is the excessive violence and nudity displayed. Moving on from that season, the second season begins with a similarly interesting and odd storyline, at times even humorous. The background music and the multifaceted story that unfolds keep the audience engaged, but at the same time, the season's unusual and slightly obscure nature might confuse viewers. This confusion is compounded when we recall the series' opening statement about being based on real events, making us ponder the veracity of these bizarre happenings even more. In my opinion, this season warrants its separate video, so if you have watched the second season of Fargo and have any lingering questions, please let me know and I can address them in a new video. Once we get past the second season, the third season presents us with excellent and natural acting that immerses us in the story. The writers also try to maintain viewers' attention with a clever mix of the Fargo brand of dark humor, violence, and suspense. The weaknesses of this season include a lack of connection with its predecessors and a slow-moving plot, especially in the initial episodes, which might tire the audience. And now we finally come to the fourth season, which many consider a series highlight and the crowning jewel of Fargo. In this season, the writers transform the bleak and dark humor of the series into a sort of dictatorial satire. Though at first glance this season may remind us of the second, as we progress, the differences become clear, and this is where we encounter the writers' masterpieces. They not only tell an intriguing story, but also attempt to convey underlying themes. Therefore, I can say that this season has a lot to say. And overall, if we're looking to conclude, each season of Fargo offers a different atmosphere and a unique and interesting story that can appeal to anyone. I personally really enjoyed the first season of the series. What are your thoughts on Fargo and its seasons? Which one did you enjoy the most and why? Be sure to write to me. I'm Jason, and this is the Time Screen channel. I'd be delighted if you joined our small family, if you found my video interesting, and you can also tell me what you'd like the next video to be about and how it should be structured.